O-Lineman Award. We always see the O-Lineman put on a show. They did this weekend, too. But the guy who blew us all away was my man, Tristan Wirfs, running a 4.8, 5.40, 36.5 vertical, 10.1 broad jump. Schrager, talk about Tristan.
Unbelievable kid from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. This thing was absolutely ridiculous. What I love most is mom, Sarah.
Yeah.
And I got to do the whole story. She has worked at the same Target store for 28 years.
Unbelievable.
She has the entire town that's following this young man. Tristan Wirfs is a great kid, and he became a first-round pick and then some this weekend.
Look out.
Gosh, if I can do damage in there on my salary, imagine what you would get on your NFL salary.
Right? Hey, now. Great hot dogs at Target, too. Sneaky great. What's up next, Jen?
All right. It's the That Is Not Normal award. This award goes to a prospect who did things that are usually not possible for someone of his size and position. This year's award goes to the guy I gave a shout-out earlier, Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Ran a 4.39 40 and had a 39-inch vertical jump.
Come on, Isaiah.
I ran this at Pro Bowl.
How'd it go? What'd you get?
I ran a 5.44, which I thought was respectable, right? But I thought I was going fast. This is trucking it.
Wait, so you're way faster than Rich Eisen.
Yeah,
Dude, don't.
Way faster.
It gets sensitive. We got to be careful there.
It's already off.
Hey, be proud of your speed. Come on now, Jay. It's all right
As
to
he
be
points
fast.
out, he ran in a suit. So I told him next time I'm in LA, we're gonna
This
step
guy's
up.
240, Simmons, and ran a 4.39 40. It is really unbelievable. And the best part is that's not even like the strength of his game, his versatility and everything else he does.
Plays linebacker, DN, safety, corner, put him everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Next up, it's the In the Face Award, which goes to someone who used his head, but not in the way you might think. After day one, South Florida tight end Mitchell Wilcox took the honor. But after this weekend, the true winner of the award is Texans offensive line coach Mike Devlin, who was running the drills with the bags. Watch this footage here. He's watching it as the coach. And kicks him right in the face.
Oh, that's awesome.
Unbelievable. And Devlin even has a grin here. Look at
I
this.
love that we've got slow-mo. Can you imagine those guys playing that over and over in the coach's room?
And the best part is he wore the hat. The hat stays on. Mike Devlin, we see you. Great job, coach.
That's the video Nate watches on World Star.
Yes, in the face.
That's
In the face. In the face.
That's how you make an initial impression, though. They're not going to forget that
No,
kid.
that's it.
All right. So I got one. This one, it's the One-Hit Wonder Award, which goes to someone who had a big impact on this year's combine, but it wasn't here for long. The moment where a guy looks back at this year's winner, Fred the Sled. How about this one, guys? Let's check this out right here. Do we have?
Yeah, let's roll it.
We got a clip. Do we got?
Hate to inform everybody. There are the sleds, lonely, unused, discarded, because, well, couldn't learn very much from him last night. And also, somebody decided to term it Fred the Sled. And whoever's at coach's talk, we hear you. Fred the Sled is dead. Sled's dead, baby. Sled's dead.
It's a great day.
You're my boy, Blue. This is what happened. They would lift them. You couldn't push them. They were not very functional. Sometimes
They even had surgery. They removed a plate, and it didn't help.
Sometimes football on a stick is all you need. Actually, I'm just a little bit... sorry.
They used the sleds on Thursday.
Really good. We'll get to it.
The tight end drills, they used the sleds. The NFL quickly looked at it and was like, these don't make sense. Let's get rid of it. Fred the Sled lasted one day in our lives. And
Kudos to them for adjusting on the fly,
like,
though,
it's not good. It's not working. It was
Doesn't work.
ridiculous.
You know, my favorite moment from the combine is Rich Eisen does this, a really well-put Pulp Fiction reference. He goes, Sled's dead, baby, Sled's dead. And then out of nowhere, Sean O'Hara, you're my boy, Blue! I mean, Sean, such an on-the-nose, old-school reference. I love you, Sean. I can depend on you for that. So good. God,
Fred
that's
the
good.
Sled's dead.
Anyway, we have another one, or are we getting out of here? Are they
more.
playing us off? How about the Sleeper Award, which goes to a prospect who everyone was not really paying attention to, but after a big performance in Indy, is finally showing up in people's radars. Tough call after so many guys showed up, but showed out. This year's Sleeper Award goes to the only guy in Indy who has a farmer's tan and a serious caffeine addiction. Oh my gosh, it's Peach Train coming into your living room. Haters want to say it's photoshopped. Peter, look out. What's it like being in that golden tunnel,
Oh, it
Spags?
was so good. Shout out to the features team, Mike Darwin, Mike Alstead. We've got Lisa over there. They said, if you really want to do it, we'll do it. We'll let you do the whole thing that the prospects were doing. The best part about this, 3 players, Thaddeus Moss, Henry Ruggs, and Jerry Jeudy all watched me do mine. So they're blasting Childish Gambino and these 3 bosses watching.
Swaggy.
Yeah.
Peter, I want to see the video of them watching.
I went shirtless. I went sleepless.
You went shirtless. I was like, wait a minute.
Can we get that
I
video?
need that video.
Wow, it's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
I want to see them. Were they laughing?
moment.
Were they encouraging?
They were actually very alarmed.
They were probably like
disturbed.
They were like, "That's the NFL? Oh, I'll have a long career."
Who's this guy?
Zoomed first overall pick of the 2020 NFL Draft, LSU quarterback Joe Burrow. He caught up with our own Colleen Wolfe and Andrew Hopkins to break down a special photo of himself and one of his idols in the NFL.
I was a Saints fan growing up because of Drew. So this was, that was right before the national championship game. So I was trying to act cool, like talk about the coverages that Clemson was going to play, act like I knew what was going on. But deep down, I was like, that's Drew Brees. Like I'm talking to him.
There it is,
was
Joe
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did he give you any advice? That's my question.
Not too much. He kind of sat in the background, and then we just talked a little bit after, and then I got to talk with him a little more last week, and we ran really similar offenses with Joe Brady coming from the Saints, so we just talked ball.
The comparisons right now are you and Tom Brady. Your response to that?
Please don't compare me to the best player of all time. All right, let me do my own thing. Don't do that to me, please.
All right.
It's high praise, though.
It is, but it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
All right, so Joe Burrow says don't compare him to Tom Brady just yet. But he's going to get to do something Tom Brady did not do, which is, we assume, be drafted in the first round of an NFL draft. All right, so guys, assuming that Joe Burrow is, in fact, the guy he's drafted by the Bengals, and given what you saw at the Combine this week, who should the Redskins draft with the 2nd overall pick?
I feel like you go with Chase Young. Let's not overcomplicate things. I know last year they went with Montez Sweat, who was also a guy that can run fast and get after the quarterback, a little banged up last year. But you think about the young nucleus of talent that they have on the defensive side of the ball to help a guy like Dwayne Haskins. One thing you need when you have a quarterback that's still developing, you need a good run game, some receivers that can catch the rock for him, but more importantly on the defensive side, a defense that you're building that could eventually win games for you while the young quarterback is learning on the fly. Go with Chase Young so he can chase those young quarterbacks.
It's amazing. He's so good. And Young, when I brought his name up to one talent evaluator, said, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney and Mario Williams all went first overall. He's more polished, and he's probably a better player than those guys coming out of college. So you're saying the best defensive talent ever in the last 10 years for the draft, this guy might be better. And yet, I look at that Redskins roster. Look at what the Redskins' strength of their roster is. It's all about their defensive line already. They are loaded at defensive line. Back-to-back years, they took Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne in the first round. Matt Ioannidis had a big contract this offseason and went out and played even better. Montez Sweat's a first-round pick. You add in these 5 guys, and then, of course, Kerrigan, who doesn't seem to age and gets on. So that is right there, not just 3 or 4. That's 5 defensive linemen that are already really talented.
Chase Young would be bringing sand to the beach.
Chase Young is, if we're talking about team needs and where we're going from here, Chase Young might be the best out of all those guys eventually, but it's certainly not going to necessarily be their need. To me, go Tua.
Why?
Go Tua. If Tua is everything that everyone says, and Tua is this all-world leader, and Tua can set your franchise bar, don't feel hamstrung by them taking a quarterback with a previous regime. The guy who picked him, Bruce Allen, is not there anymore. The guy who was his coach, Jay Gruden, is not there anymore. Fresh start. When you took the job in Washington, Ron Rivera, without interviewing anywhere else, I am assuming you were told by Dan Snyder, do whatever you want. This is your team now. I'm handing you the reins. Tua, to me, you wait a year. I don't know if it's Dwayne Haskins next season and Tua competing with him, and there's a good fiery competition. If you trade Haskins like the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen because they loved Kyler Murray. But don't not take Tua for the wrong reasons. The wrong reasons would be not taking Tua because you already have someone that someone else drafted. If you love Haskins, then great, stay with Haskins. But let the Tua conversation happen. Don't close that door. This guy could be a franchise changer.
That'd be big. And I think you have to get rid of Haskins. You weren't going to keep Rosen.
Can't have them both there, right?
I don't think so. Let's take a little look at Dwayne Haskins' Twitter. First, back in January, Chase Young announces he's going to join the NFL. He's going to leave Ohio State. Redskins have the #2 pick. Look what Dwayne Haskins tweeted in response to Chase Young saying, "I'm going to leave Ohio State." He says, "See you soon, winky face," meaning a lot of people interpret that as, well, we're going to be teammates now.
When was this? What week was this?
January, early January, okay? So now people are saying, whoa, I'm not so sure. How about more recently, during the Combine, the last few days when everybody's talking like Peter, pissed off for greatness, that was Dwayne Haskins' response in response to, my team's going to take quarterback. They're going to take Tua. I look at this as a fan about, like, what is the plan here? A first-round quarterback. Generally, I'm against that, and yet now I don't think it's that crazy. I'll tell you why. Last year with the Cardinals, not only did they get rid of Josh Rosen, they passed on Nick Bosa. Like, they could have had him. He was the Chase Young in this equation because why? They loved Kyler. Is anybody blaming them for doing that right now? They made the right choice. There is no allegiance to Dwayne Haskins. We spent a mid-first round pick on him. Maybe we saw him on the field and didn't like it. Maybe we saw him off the field and didn't like it. And if you love Tua that much, never mind Chase Young, never mind Dwayne Haskins. The quarterback is everything. People will forget you drafted 2 in a row. Get the guy if you love him that much.
I'm glad you brought up the Rosen-Kyler Murray comparison because think how much heat the Cardinals took for that move. You go out and you get Josh Rosen. It felt very sloppy the way they handled it. And then Kyler Murray, I think, has really sort of moved them in the future. And now they can sort of address their other needs on this team. Yeah. Then you could also make the argument, look what the Browns have done. They keep picking the wrong quarterbacks over the years and how that set them back. I do believe that Dwayne Haskins had the injury. There's a lot of instability and dysfunction within the organization in terms of not everyone was on the same page. Dwayne got hurt. Do we really know what he's capable of? This is a guy that wanted to be in D.C. for that matter. This was a hometown kid. I kind of feel like you can't jump ship on him just yet.
That's fair.
That's my thought.
I'm right there with you. In that Detroit game, and I know the Redskins fan, and Ron Rivera spoke about, against Detroit, he looked great at the end of the season. Like, Haskins really showed some signs. But to me, if you love Tua, and if you really think this is the next 15 years, and you're going to be there, you can't not take him because there's someone else who someone else picked.
I think the difference, too, the opposite of that would be, look what the Bears are going through. Like, the Bears are like, Trubisky, and we don't want to hear anybody else, and that's the opposite. I think the difference there is Ryan Pace, the Bears GM, he drafted Trubisky. Peter's point with the Redskins is everybody's gone. Dwayne Haskins is nobody's guy who's there. Fresh start. It's actually kind of nice as a fan base. Maybe we get the guy we really want. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's worth a conversation, to your point, though. Let's make our way down the draft board. Now that we have the first and second picks taken care of, who should the Lions and Giants then be looking for when they draft the 3rd and 4th overall picks? I think this is also going to be very interesting.
No doubt.
If I'm the Lions, I'm taking Jeff Okudah. Okay, Jeff Okudah was the #1 prospect in college at the position. He is 15 years, going to be a lockdown corner. That's what everyone says. He's the most polished guy. If I'm the Giants, I'm looking at all these great players. And I can't deny Mekhi Becton, what I saw this past week. I'm looking at Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Who's going to be blocking these guys? Mekhi Becton put on such a show. I know it seems early to draft an offensive tackle all the way at #4 with a guy who maybe wasn't even the bona fide #1 tackle in college last year. But I'm looking at this mountain of a man and saying, just plug him in right there, and someone please protect my young players. I don't know what Nate Solder's future is with the Giants. I'm not sure if Nate Solder's even a Giant next season. I do know Mekhi Becton's going to be starting at left tackle for someone next year. Why not be the Giants to protect 2 young corner pros?
Yeah, you're looking at a mountain of a man. I'm looking at a man who's a monster. I'm looking at Isaiah Simmons. And I believe these guys, both of these teams, could use an individual like that. We're talking the 30th and 31st ranked defense. So right there, these guys need an instant boost on the defense side of the ball. And they both have needs at the defensive line in linebacker position. So you're literally getting a guy that can do both. You got a linebacker. He can play a little bit of D-line. He can come off the edge, play safety if you want him to. And he ran a faster time than Saquon Barkley. Like, what more do you need to convince a team that he's the man for the job than a dude on the other side of the ball that is as fast as your superstar running back?
You guys are looking at Simmons. If I'm those teams, I'm looking at my phone. Absolutely. I'm looking for trades. I'm looking for King's ransoms. If Tua has not been taken, if Herbert has not been taken, some of these teams, like the Colts, the Bucks, the Raiders, who would have to trade so much to move up this week.
You love trades at draft time.
Hell yes, I do. We don't need a quarterback, and we got the 3 pick. I'm hearing offers trying to give us a King's ransom, set us up for 5 years. I want to trade that pick. I do.
Open for business? Is that what Gettleman said?
Open for business, baby.
I am